This is going to be one of those gear talks that you probably wasn't ready for. Listen, fam, I do this about once every 2 to 3 years, and it's because, well, I just checked mine or one of my family members' setups. In this business, right, we're always talking about new cameras, new microphones, new computers, new hard drives, new monitors, new lights, new tripods, new all myriad sorts of things that are super important and super impactful when it comes to creating content. But I got one that goes overlooked so many times by so many people. Let me give you a little backstory. So, as you know, I had some family stuff going on, so I had extra guests in town, and over at the old people's house, the internet just wasn't doing what it's supposed to do. Something we hadn't really noticed because under normal circumstances, we're just watching whatever's on Apple TV or a little YouTube here and there. But having extra people in the house and people trying to get work done from a remote location, it was super, super sketch. So, of course, they call on the old resident nerd yourself here, me. Well, that didn't come out right, but you know what I mean. They called to me, hey, come and check it out. So I go to check it out, and the speeds were atrocious. Something that I had never really noticed because we're normally only working on the download speeds. We were on like 100 by 10, which is trash. So I reached out to Spectrum, that's the provider for the home, and was able to bump the speed up to, 500, whatever their 500 plan. It comes out to like 500 by 50 or something like that. And well, that should have been enough. And after a couple of testing and messing around with it, it still was a little sketchy. Come to find out, the router that was in place, an older Netgear router, had been there for about 5 years. And with the new speed given from Spectrum, the old router is just not able to keep up. So long story short, I ran out and got a TP-Link B3600, I believe is what it's called. And that should be good to go for the next couple of years. Moral of the story is, if you have not updated your router in about the last 3 years, it's probably time to just go switch. They have come a long way, as they continue to do. Every 3 or 4 years, we get new technology, we get new speeds, we get new packet handling capabilities, loss drop protection capabilities, bonding where you can just use your phone as a failover type situation. All these things are available to you. And the funny thing is, many people will buy a router and run that sucker until it dies. And that's cool if you're not doing what we're trying to do, which is create content, constantly uploading things, constantly streaming things, so forth, so on, etc. Maybe just even playing a little video games. So I highly recommend, if you haven't done so in a while, go and check your router. Check for firmware updates. Number one, that's really important for security if you don't already have it set up for automatic updates. And then one last thing in this situation, call your provider and make sure you are getting what you're paying for. It turns out they no longer just auto speed bump you in many cases. Spectrum is pretty good at it in some locations, not all. It used to be whenever Spectrum would make an update, to make their speeds faster, they would auto update you to the new plan. Well, that does work provided you have a cable modem that can take on the new updates. So, for instance, if you're on a DOCSIS 3.1 modem, never mind the technical terms, if you have something that's within the last 3 years, you're probably good to go because you can support up to 6.5 gigs on those modems in theory. I don't think you're ever going to see that, but maybe you can. Also, crazy enough, it might even be worth double checking if you're not in any contracts what the competition is showing. I have a buddy of mine who lives near Atlanta, and he has a AT&T drop-in, and he gets 5,000 up and down. That's 5 gigs up and down on just a box that sits in the middle of the house, no special wiring. So if you haven't checked your network infrastructure in a minute, do it now. Now, let's say you did this last year or the year before. Throw yourself a calendar invite for approximately 72 months, 3, 6, 9, maybe, no, take that back. Approximately 36 months after you last did it, just go and do a check. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to go buy something new, but you might find out you do. And honestly, If you're in a high congestion network house, you'll notice that your modem/router is hot all the time. That heat does affect the way things run. So after a while, that heat just wears things out and you got to replace them anyway because things start acting funny because of cold solder joints. Yeah, it's a long explanation, but it is just worth checking on. So luckily, I was able to get the speeds updated. I got that brand new 2P-Link B3600 modem. It was like $120, which is more than enough for that particular house. And everything is everything at the moment in time. Now, in case you're wondering, I am a nerd. My personal setup is I have a Unify Dream router, which is not a cheap router. It's like a $400 router, but it's because it has 10 gigabit per second network, which means I can transfer like 100 gigs of data across my network in about a minute and a half. But that's because I edit directly off my NAS sometimes, and that just makes life easier. You don't have to go out and get that crazy, but a lot of the new modems will support 2.5 gigs and some of them even 5 gigs per second, which is relatively fast for standard issue home networking. So, as I say, I didn't give you any recommendations for particular modems and stuff because I hadn't really shopped. I live in Unified World myself. That's all I use personally. I wasn't going to put something that beefy in the family home because they just wouldn't know what to do with it. So I didn't bother. But check your Best Buy, hit the interwebs, go see some of the cool people that you can find on the interwebs talking about these things. And yeah, I don't know about you. I'm curious, anybody that has one of these little things with the 3 hockey pucks like Eros or the Google whatever, let me know how it'll work for you guys because I don't like them because they lack ports. And for us people who do what we do, we like to be hardwired. But yeah, let me know what you think about those because I was thinking about putting some of those in the family home in order to see if we can spread that signal around and help mitigate some of the stuff. If you have more detailed networking questions, ask those down in the comment section below. I do know kind of a lot about it just from my previous job. However, I didn't want to make this too technical. It's just the overall advice. If you ain't been in the network closet in a minute, check it out. Make sure everything's up to date. Make sure your cable company is giving you what they're supposed to be giving you. Check the competition to see if you can get any better deals. Oftentimes, your old provider will give you a cheaper price on retention because they don't want you to leave. And then last but not least, if you haven't swapped that modem in, say, 3 to 5 years, it might be worth looking into. Just make sure you pick up one from somewhere where you can return the new one if the new one doesn't do anything for you. Simple as that. I don't know who needed to hear this, but if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them. Chee-hoo.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk.